Good morning students. So this is class 11th physics and I'll be discussing the assignment solution of chapter number 5, that is laws of motion. So let us start with the first question of the assignment. Okay, so the first question says a cricketer catches a ball of mass 150 gram in 0.1 seconds moving with a speed of 20 meter per second. Then you have to calculate the force experienced. Okay, so the mass is given to be 150 grams. That is, you can say it is to be 0.15 kilograms. Time is 0.1 seconds and the initial speed is 20 meter per second. So when the cricketer will catch the ball, it will come to rest. So you can say final velocity of the your ball is 0. So let us use the equation V minus U is equals to AT. See, because we have to calculate force and the formula of the force is MA. We have mass, but we need to calculate A. So we are using this equation. So V is 0, U is 20, A, T is 0.15. So when you will solve it, you will get the value of acceleration to be minus 200 meter per second square. And okay, and from here, as you know, F is MA. So just put the value of M and A and you will get the answer of the force to be 30 newtons. Okay. Okay, so the second question says that there are two masses M1 and M2 which are attached to an inextensible string on a pulley. Then you have to calculate the acceleration of the masses when they are released. So as you have did in your theory lectures, let us assign all the forces acting on the two masses. So this is M1G, this is tension, this is M2G, this is tension. So because M2 is greater than M1, let us say M2 is moving downward with acceleration A. So M1 will move upward with acceleration A. Okay, now forming the equation of motion, for it will be M2G minus T is equals to M2A, that is 10G minus T is equals to 10A. From here, calculate the value of tension, that will come to be 10G minus 10A, mark it 1. Now for this one, because the motion is in upward direction, so T will be positive. So T minus 5G is equals to 5A. Now here put the value of tension from the first equation. So you will get 10G minus 10A minus 5G is equals to 5A. Just solve it for A, you will get the value of the acceleration to be G by 3. So this means when the masses are released, then they will be moving with this acceleration, that is G by 3, both of them. Okay. Okay, so the third question says a homogeneous chain of length L lies on a table. The coefficient of friction between the chain and the table is mu. Then what will be the maximum length which can hang over the table in equilibrium? So see, let us suppose at any instant of time, this is the length. This part of length is on the table and this part of the length is below the table. Okay, and as it is given, the total length of this chain is capital L. So let us suppose this length which is hanging here is small l. So this part will be nothing but L minus L, that is capital L minus small l. Okay, and coefficient of friction is also given, so that means there will be a force of friction here. So this chain can only be in equilibrium. Now look clearly here, there are two forces, the mg due to this part because this is only hanging part, and the friction on this part because this is only on the table. So this system can only be in equilibrium when F this is equals to mg, that is the downward pulling force. If it is equal to frictional force, then this chain will not fall down. Okay, so we will be using this only. So to calculate mg, let us calculate the mass of this part of the chain. Okay, so let us suppose the mass of L length is capital M. So by using unitary method, 1 will be m by L, and for the mass of length L will be m by L into small l. So this is the mass of the L part. Okay, now as I told you, weight of hanging part should be equal to frictional force for the chain to be in equilibrium. So let us put the values. So weight of the hanging part is nothing but mg and mass is this much. So that means m will be ml upon capital L into g, and frictional force, as you know, it is mu r. Now r is again mg. Okay, because see, for this weight will be downward and reaction will be upward, so r will be mg. But now the mass will be taken off this part of the chain. So now, as you know, its length is L minus L. For length L, we have calculated this formula of mass. So for L minus L length, just put instead of L, L minus L there. So this will be the mass of the part of the chain which is kept on the table. So M by L into L minus L, that is mu M into G. Okay. So from here M will MLG that will cancel out. So you will get L is equals to mu into capital L minus small l. From here you can easily calculate the value of small l, that will come to be mu l upon 1 plus mu. So that means if this much part of the length is hanging, then your chain will be in equilibrium. Okay, so the next is question number 4. It says there is a trolley of mass m which is kept on a table again, and it is attached to a block of mass m through a pulley. And the coefficient of friction between the trolley and your table is mu. So that means there will be a force of friction. So you have to calculate what will be the acceleration of the trolley and the block when the system is released. Okay, so let us suppose this is moving with acceleration 8 in downward direction when the system is released, and this is moving in this direction. Okay, and tension mg will be there, tension will be upward, similarly tension will be here. So now it is easy, just form the equations of motion. Okay, so for this one, mg minus t will be equal to ma. From here I have just calculated the value of t. For this one, t minus f will be equal to capital Ma, and as you know, f is nothing but mu capital Mg is equals to Ma. Now from 1, put the value of tension here. Okay, so you will get this equation, that is mg plus ma minus mu capital Mg is equals to capital Ma. Now solve this equation for acceleration. Okay, so when you will solve it, you will get the answer to be g into small m minus mu capital M upon capital M plus small m. So this is the value of acceleration. Okay. Fifth question says, what is the angle between action and reaction? So as you know, the action and reaction are always equal and opposite. So that means this is the angle between them. So this is nothing but 180 degrees. Okay. Okay, so the sixth question says that when the lift is in rest and when the lift is moving in downward with acceleration A, the ratio of the mass of the apparent weight of the man is 3:2. Then you have to calculate what is the acceleration of the lift. Okay, so this is the case when lift is at rest. So in this case, as you know, r is equals to mg, and this is the case when lift is moving downward, and in this case, you know, mg minus r is equals to ma, because downward direction is considered to be positive. So from here, apparent weight, that is reaction, will come to be mg minus ma. Now their ratio is given to be 3:2. So that means mg upon mg minus ma is equals to 3:2. So from here you can easily calculate the value of acceleration, that will come to be g by 3. So this is the value of acceleration of the lift. Okay, so the seventh question says a block of weight 4 kg is resting on a smooth horizontal plane. It is stuck by a jet at the rate of 2 kg per second, and the speed of the jet is 10 meters per second. Then you have to calculate the acceleration of the block. Okay, so the mass is 4 kilograms. See, the rate of the jet of water is given to be 2 kilogram per second. So clearly look at the units, kilogram per second. That means this is mass upon time. So this mass is given, this rate is given for mass per unit time. So I am writing it as dm by dt is equals to 2 kilogram per second. Okay, and you can easily conclude it by the units, that it is nothing but mass per unit time. So this is the dm by dt. Now velocity is given to be 10 meters per second. Okay, so you have to calculate the acceleration again. So as you know, F is equals to dp by dt from Newton's second law, and you also know linear momentum is defined as mv. Okay, so it becomes F is equals to d by dt of mv. Now look clearly here, v is constant but mass is depending on time. So from here, because v is a constant, it will come out of differentiation. So it will become F is equals to v into dm by dt. Now you know the value of v to be 10, and you know the value of dm by dt to be 2. From here, the value of force will come to be 20 newtons. Okay, so if force is 20 newtons, then just use F is equals to ma. From here, acceleration will come to be 5 meters per second square. Okay, so the next is question number 8. It says a block released from rest from the top of a smooth inclined plane of angle theta 1 reaches the bottom in time t1. That is, suppose there is an inclined plane of angle theta 1. This block, when released from rest from here, it reaches at the bottom in time t1. The same block, if released from an inclined plane at an angle theta 2, it reaches the bottom in time t2. It is given that the height of both the inclined planes is same. That is, the height is, I am taking to be h. Okay, then you have to calculate the relation between t1 and t2. Okay, so for that, first of all, let us calculate the velocities of these blocks when they will reach here. Okay, so now as you know, at the highest point, this block would be having potential energy, and at the lowest point, it would be having the kinetic energy. So for this case, mgh, that is potential energy at highest point, will be equal to kinetic energy at lowest point, that is half mv1 square. For this case, again, because height is same, mgh will be equal to half mv2 square. Okay, so because see, theta 1 and theta 2, these inclinations are different. That means the speed when they will come downward would also be different. Okay, so I am taking them to be v1 and v2. Now we will see what will happen. Ultimately, due to the same height, velocity will also come to be same. Okay, so mgh is equals to this and mgh is equals to this. That means half mv1 square is equals to half mv2 square only. From here you will get v1 square is equals to v2 square, or you can say v1 is equals to plus minus v2. Okay, so keep it as it is for now. Okay, so now see, now let us form the equation of motion. So this is same as you know, mg will be here, reaction will be upward, this will be mg cos theta and this will be mg sin theta. Let us say this block is moving with acceleration a1 and this block is moving with acceleration a2. Okay, so for if you form equation of motion for this one, that will be nothing but mg sin theta 1 is equals to ma1. So ma1 is equals to mg sin theta 1. So from here you will get a1 is equals to g sin theta 1. Similarly, a2 will come to be g sin theta 2. Okay. Now, for both of them, calculate the use the relation v minus u is equals to at. So, v1 minus u1 is equals to a1 t1. Because initially the block was at rest, so u1 is 0. So, that means v1 will be, and a1 is g sin theta 1. So, v1 will be g sin theta 1 into d2. Similarly, for second case, v2 minus u2 will be equal to a2 t2. u2 is 0, so v2 will come to be g sin theta 2 into t2. Now, as we have already proved that v1 is equals to v2, that means g sin theta 1 t1 is equals to g sin theta 2 t2. From here, g will cancel out. So, t1 upon t2 will come to be sin theta 2 upon sin theta 1. So, this is the relation between the time intervals. Okay. Okay, so the next question is question number 9. In this, a graph is given to you between the force and time, and the mass of the block is also given. Then you have to calculate the momentum gained at the end of 10 seconds. Now clearly see, this force is a variable force. As you can see, it is changing with time. That means this force is the variable force. And as I have told you in theory lectures, for a variable force, area under the graph gives you change in momentum. Okay, so we have to just calculate in this case change in momentum by calculating the area. So as you can see, this is one triangle, this is one rectangle, and this is another triangle. So just use the formula of area of all these three and you will get the change in momentum at the end of 10 seconds. Okay. So see, because at this point it is 0 only, so the area will give you the momentum gain in 10 seconds. Okay, so its area will be half into base into height. So half, base is 4, height is 20. Okay, plus rectangle's area is length into breadth. That means 8 minus 4 is 4, and again your length is 20 only. Plus again half into base, that is 10 minus 8, that is 2, and height is again 20. So just solve it, you will get the answer to be 140 kilogram meter per second. Okay, so the next is question number 10. It says that a body of mass m, this is body of mass m, is suspended by two strings at an angle of theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, so let us suppose this is angle theta 1, this is angle theta 2. Now, with the horizontal, you have to calculate the tension in the two strings. So let us suppose tension in this string is T1 and in this string is T2. Now let us resolve these two forces. So it will be T1 cos theta 1, it will be T1 sin theta 1. Similarly for T2, it will be T2 cos theta 2 and it will be T2 sin theta 2, and weight will be acting downward for the block. Now form the equation of motion. So from here, as you can see clearly, T1 cos theta 1 is equals to T2 cos theta 2, first equation. And for second equation, mg is equals to T2 sin theta 2 plus T1 sin theta 1. Okay, so from first equation, calculate the value of T1 first. So T1 will come to be T2 cos theta 2 upon cos theta 1. Now put the value of this T1 into second equation. So just putting the value of T1 into second equation, you will get this value, that is mg is equals to T2 cos theta 2 upon cos theta 1 into sin theta 1 plus T2 sin theta 2. Now sin theta 1 upon cos theta 1 is nothing but tangent theta 1. Sin upon cos is tangent. So this equation will become this, and I have taken T2 to be common. So from here, T2 will come to be mg upon this value. Okay, so to make it, see, you can do up to here as well, but just to make it a little simpler, I am dividing and I am multiplying both numerator and denominator by cos theta 1. Okay, so if I multiply cos theta 1 in numerator, it will become mg cos theta 1. And if I multiply cos theta 1 in denominator, so it will be cos theta 2. See, this is nothing but sin theta 1 upon cos theta 1 into cos theta 1. So cos theta 1 will cancel out. So you will be left with sin theta 1 plus sin theta 2 cos theta 1. Now, there is an identity in mathematical identity for trigonometry of sin A plus B, that is sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. If there is sin A minus B, then that identity is sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. So here, as you can see, sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. So we can write this as sin A plus B, that is sin theta 1 plus theta 2. So this is the value of T2. Similarly, you will get the value of T1 to be mg cos theta 2 upon sin theta 1 plus theta 2. So this is the value of the tension in the two strings. Okay. Okay, so the next is question number 11. It says sand drops vertically at the rate of 2 kg per second. That means again you are given dm by dt to be 2 kg per second on a conveyor belt moving horizontally with a speed of 0.2 meter per second. Then you have to calculate what will be the force required to keep the belt moving. Again, from the Newton's second law, you know F is equals to dp by dt. Again, P is mv, and because V is constant, it will come outside dm by dt. So just put their values, you'll get the answer to be 0.4 newtons. Okay, so the next is question number 12. It says a horizontal force of 10 Newton is necessary to just hold a block stationary against a wall. That is, suppose if this is the wall and this is the block, you have to apply a force of 10 Newton to keep it stationary here. Okay, then the coefficient of friction between the block and wall is given to be 0.2. Then you have to calculate the weight of block. Okay, so now clearly understand the forces here. If you are applying a force of 10 Newton to the block, the wall will also apply a reaction force on the block. That reaction force will also be equal to 10 Newton because action reaction are always equal. Now the weight of the block is acting downward, that is mg. And because there is a friction between the wall and block, so the friction force will be acting against mg, that will be in this direction. Now form the equation of motion. From here you can, as you can see, F should be equal to mg, then only this block will be stationary here. So F is mg, F is nothing but mu r, so mu r is mg. Mu is given to be 0.2, reaction force is 10 Newton, as I have explained you, m into g, that is 10. So from here mass will come to be 0.2 kilograms. And weight is nothing but mg, so that is 0.2 into 10, so the weight of the block is 2 newtons. Okay, so the last question is question number 13. It says a ball falls on the surface from 10 meter height and rebounds to 2.5 meters. If the duration of contact with the floor is 0.01 seconds, then average acceleration of the what will be the average acceleration during contact? Okay. So let us suppose this is the 10 meter height and ball initially fall here. After that it remain in contact with the ground for this much time and then it rebounds to a height of 2.5 meter. So as you know, at this point it should be having some potential energy. When it will come at the lowermost point, it will be having some kinetic energy, and let us say that speed is u. Again, it was in contact for time 0.05 seconds, 1 seconds. After that it is again going upward. That means at just above the ground it would be having a velocity, let us say v. So let us calculate the value of this u and v. Okay, that is before striking the ground and after striking the ground. So as you know, v minus u is equals to at. If I calculate v and u, and time is given in the question, so we can easily calculate the acceleration during the time of contact, right? So just to calculate u and v, use the conservation of energy. At highest point, energy would be mgh. At this point, half m u square. So m will cancel out, g, h is given to be 10 and u square by 2. So from here u will come to be 10 root 2. Similarly for this case, again mgh will be equal to half mv square. So I am taking 2.5 height to be h dash. So it will give you 10 into 2.5 is equals to v square by 2. So your velocity will come to be 5 root 2 from here. Now v minus u is equals to at. Now clearly look here, u and v are in opposite directions. And if I am taking upward direction to be positive, so v will be positive, and to add them u will be negative because it is in downward direction. So v is 5 root 2 minus of 10 root 2 because it is in downward direction. So it will be then minus will be plus is equals to at. So from here it will be 15 root 2 is equals to a into 0.01. So from here a will come to be 1500 into root 2 meter per second square. So this is the value of the acceleration during time of contact. Okay students, so I hope all the questions are clear now. Okay, thank you.